using our sense of the world to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength. Are we remembering to feel the weight of the body delivered down the front of the spine, the weight-bearing portion of the spine, which is the front? Are we remembering to feel the front of our shins? The awareness onto the front of our shins, the weight of the body being delivered to the front. The shins, not the back. As we move in the way we think we are constructed, how does it feel to remember that the tip of the tongue wants to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth, as is displayed on the screen? No matter what value we're speaking, welcome everyone. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is Monday, November 7th, 2021. A Mover Monday. How art thou? How are you doing out there? Whether you are driving in a car, whether you're inside a car driving, listening to How Go On the way to work, or whether you are in a library right now, perhaps studying. All you studier. Perhaps you are in the kitchen cooking steak, or shrimp, or spinach. Wherever you are, whenever thou art. Welcome back to a Mover Monday on Pago. In this simulation of ours in which we die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with a breath. Are we ready to hold our controller properly today? How do we hold our controller properly today? We invite you to pretend that there's a candle in front of the lips that you are trying to not put out. We invite you to pretend that there is a lit candle, just flickering, in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. You're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling necessarily, simply that there is a candle in front of your lips that you are absolutely trying to not put out. And how might your body react? Today on this Mover Monday, it is November 7th, 2022. It is a Mover Monday, which means we here on How Go On will be discussing the relationship between us and ourselves. This body that we are existing in. A deep dive today. Our theme is listening to the front of the shins. Listen to the front of your shins. We shall be talking about that right after this short break, but only if you're remembering that there's a candle in every human being's lips that you're trying to not put out, including your own. We'll be right back. Tried all the vitamins and gummies that claim they're going to be boosting your mental capabilities, your physical performance, your behaviors in life? Tried them and then felt motivated yet slightly confused and cautious? I mean, are the effects even real or are they placebo? Are you achieving what you think you are achieving or is it imagination? Do you have all this energy now or is that imagination too? Be done with placebos. Be done with uncertainty. Isn't it so draining to be uncertain? You can't even begin to gain confidence in what you're doing. How about some actionable, specific advice instead? Take this gummy, feel the front of your shins. Bam! That one's free. Take Padawan with you wherever you go, whenever you go, and feel so good from the inside out. Feeling so good from the inside out. Better than your morning would feel without. Using our sense of the world to make sense of the world. Why? Of course, for inner and outer world peace through individual strength. How art thou doing? Welcome back from that short break. Welcome back to this November 7th, 2022 Mover Monday. Today on this Mover Monday, our theme is listen to the front of your shins. Now, like most things, especially on Mover Monday here on Pagawan, where we are exploring the relationship between us and ourselves. Us and ourselves, as in you and that body of yours, wherever you are, wherever thou art. Whether you are driving in a car, whether you are fixing your hair in the mirror, whether you are getting ready for work, or whether you are settling down, winding down into a bed, a sleepy formation for you today, wherever you are, whenever thou art, whether you are watching this at the premiere, in which case, hello there. Good evening this time. Or whether you are out there in the future, you crazy time traveler, you watching us in a bod, video on demand, or on YouTube. Hello there. You're doing well. Hope you will join me in stretching our self-awareness like a muscle today. We let all of these words go in one ear and out the other, not trying to hold on to anything but the meaning instead of the actual specific words. See if anything clicks with you. We invite you to do a few body magic tricks with us today. If you would if you would join us in holding our controller properly today. As you know, we live in this simulation, it seems, in which we die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with every breath that we take. We hope you will join us in pretending that there is a lit candle in front of your mouth, in front of your lips that you're just trying to not put out. There's just a lit candle, like a birthday candle, and it's just flickering there. You're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling necessarily. Whether you are out there in a crowd somewhere, in a lively, buzzing crowd, and you have earphones on or something, or you're just playing it on your phone and we're those people right now, or whether you are walking alone in a hallway, just wanting some company, or whether you are a long-time listener to Palgoan and are joining us as we ease into some more Palgoan. I hope you will pretend that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And how does that feel for you? You're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling necessarily, just that there's a candle in front of your lips that you are trying to not put out. And how does that feel for you? How might your body react to this new awareness? Does it feel allowed to move, or does it feel like it's not giving itself permission to move? How do we feel? How do we feel? Today is a Mover Monday, which, as you know, here on Palgawan, every Monday is a Mover Monday, where we shall be introducing and discussing this week's body map, this week's body magic trick, this week's emphasis on how to hold our controller properly as we live in this simulation of ours, which we die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with a breath. Today's theme, listen to the front of your shins, Wherever you are, whether you're holding up a wall somewhere, whether you are walking freely, whether you are jumping above clouds, whether you are swimming underneath the ocean, whether you're walking sideways like a crab or walking straightwards like a. Whether you are walking straightwards. Whatever you are doing, we hope you will join us today in stretching our self-awareness like a muscle. I invite you to listen to the front of your shins like they are a speaker of your life. Like you might hear things going on around you, but what you're listening it through are the speakers. It's like the front of your shins are like speakers. Da-dum, da-dum. As everything you hear around you is like being actually projected from the front of your shins, like they are speakers. How might your body react to this in a similar fashion as to how your body might be reacting to a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? Do we notice any changes in the body? Whether you're at a coffee shop, whether you're at the beach, should we shift our operation of our body's awareness of itself to a biomachine that functions as such that it listens to the front of the shins? As you can focus on certain things in a room, you can focus on certain sounds, can't we? Can't you? Can't your awareness pick out certain sounds from a larger array of sounds and choose to focus on one part of the sound, or spread its awareness out and listen to the entire sound as more of a soft focus, as one kind of long, large umbrella of a sound instead of picking out a specific part? Can't our awareness do that on this Mover Monday here on Padawan? Can't our awareness shift in shape and size? Can't we decide to listen to the entire ensemble of an orchestra? Can't we choose to soft focus and let it all wash over us as one large wave? Spread our awareness to a wide array of things at once, like breadth first over depth. But can we also shift our focus and awareness and use it to pick out certain smaller components of a larger picture and focus on certain smaller ones, the same way we can do with our own body, where we can choose to feel the experience of our whole body in relationship to its own weight and how it delivers its own weight onto itself? Or we can choose to pay attention to just a hand, for example, if your hand is in pain or if you're feeling a particular kind of pleasurable sensation in your hand, like a tickle. And so don't we stretch and compress and split apart our attention, not just in the outer world when looking at the outer world, the world that is without us, the body, outside of our body. And we can also do it with our inside world, right? We can also shift and shape shift and expand and shrink our attention and awareness in the outside world at what we look at and what we see and what our senses are facing to the outside world, as we can also do the same with our awareness in our inside world, our own body. And how does that feel for you? Should we use this self-awareness to observe our own body and how it reacts to the idea of listening to the fronts of our shins as if they were the speakers that the sounds around us come from? How does that feel? Wherever you are. Whether you are inside a cafe possibly, inside the mall or a grocery store, whether you're using AirPods or an open room speaker in a room, or are you bumping Pogo on outside of a park, at a park? Are you working today? Life is indeed work, so I would understand. Or are you taking some time today to unwind and relax? We all gotta take time to nurture our inside world. Wherever you are, whenever you are, we invite you to hold your controller properly today by pretending that there's a candle in front of the lips that you're trying to not put out. It's just a lip candle just flickering in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. You're not thinking about inhaling or exhaling necessarily. But just that there's a lit candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, and how might your body arrange itself? How might your self-awareness, how much your body's relationship to how it delivers its own weight across its own bony structure, how might that feel? As we are all remembering to pretend that there's a candle in front of our lips that we're trying to not put out. We hold our controller properly. And to listen to the front of the shins like they are the speakers of the world to listen to. We'll be right back after this short break. It is a Mover Monday here on Pal Go On. My name is Herbie. These words go in one ear and out the other. We'll be right back after this short break, but only if you're remembering to listen to the first shin. Be right back. Drained? Depressed? Has the chaos of the world got you feeling confused and apathetic? Even gassy? Feeling like nothing gets you out of this funk? When you're feeling lost in the daily grind, left feeling meaningless, don't touch grass, touch the front of your shins. Feel less tired and more inspired with us on the Best Feeling Podcast. Pal Go On. Using our sense of the world to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength. Welcome back to the Best Feeling Podcast. I hope you will join me in this simulation of ours in which we are dying every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with every breath that we take. We invite you to hold your controller properly with us today by pretending that there's a candle of your lips that you're trying to not put out. It's just flickering there, just a lit candle, just flickering there. And you're not trying to think about inhaling or exhaling necessarily, but simply that there's a candle flickering in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. And how does that feel for you? Welcome back, welcome back. Whether you are time traveling and watching us in the future in a YouTube, or whether you're here watching the premiere live, which in this case for this Mover Monday on November 7th, 2022, it is evening. Good evening. Hello, how are you? What are you doing today? Are you chilling in your room? Are you indoors? Are you able to look out the window? Are you locked in? Or are you outside spending some time either in the rain or in the snow or in the sun? Are there people around you? Are you at a coffee shop? Does it smell good? Or are you in your room, isolated, but enjoying your sweet time alone as we all should? How are you as we are stretching our self-awareness like a muscle today and every day here on Pal Go On? I hope you are allowing these words to go in one ear and out the other, as we are always holding on to the meanings of the words, not necessarily the specific words that are being used, but rather the meanings behind them, of course, right? as we are remembering that the tips of our tongues want to be anchored to the back of the bottom front teeth, and how might that feel for you and your body and your self-awareness? Do we notice any kind of request to move that may or may not be allowed by your own body? Do we feel pain? Is there uncomfortability in the way that our body adjusts itself when we remind ourselves that the tips of our tongues want to be anchored to the back, the bottom, front teeth? That there's a candle lit, just flickering in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out? The weight bearing portion of the spine is the front. And to listen to the front of the shins like they are the speakers that we listen to the world through. Again, as we are holding our controller properly today in this simulation of ours in which we die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with every breath that you take, we invite you to pretend that there's a candle in front of our lips that you're trying to not put out. Every human being has a candle just flickering in front of their lips that they're trying to not put out, as it awakens and contracts the proper muscles that are often forgotten in front of the face that are required for a full and proper and healing breath and inspiration, as well as a proper exhalation, expiration of breath. And how might that feel for you? Does your body feel blurry? Does your sense of self feel blurry, or does it feel clear? When sitting still to allow the weight of our body to be delivered where it's supposed to go, does it feel ordered? Do we feel the weight of the body fit down the front of the spine and not the back? I'm wearing a comfy, fluffy jacket today. Reminds me of like an Ewok from Star Wars. Feeling so good from the inside out, but having a nice coat on your skin feels nice too. Today's topic, listening to the front of the shins as we come closer to a close here. We're going to have one segment, and then we'll come back with one more little body magic trick segment to ship us off. But before we go, you might be like, what do you mean listen to the front of the shins, dude? Herbie, what are you talking about? Listen to the front of the shins. Are we all asking this by now? What the heck do you mean by listen to the front of the shins? What do the shins have to say? What have I been ignoring? Well, how might your body react? In the same way that we can divide our attention, like let's say there's like a symphony or an orchestra, we can pick out pieces of the symphony or orchestra, or we can choose to have our awareness soft focus on the entire musical arrangement at the time and get that feeling. We can isolate our attention, or we can shape shift and change the shape and size of our awareness to pick out an instrument of a song, or to choose to relax our awareness to become more of a soft general awareness in which we might just be listening to the overall vibration, literally, of music. In the same way, can't we partition, change the shape and size of our awareness when it comes to our inside world, our own body? We can choose to pay attention to our emotions. If we want to talk about mental level, we can choose to think about our body's relationship to itself in a physical, balential way. When our body's feeling relaxed, we can feel a holistic feeling of our body as it just allows its own weight to be delivered down to these bone structures, which are designed to hold our weight so we can feel weightless. Say it with me. So we can feel weightless. One more time, say it with me. So we can feel weightless. The weight-bearing portions of our body, the bones, can support all the weight of our bodies as we allow our awareness to soft focus on our body to feel more holistically involved with our balance instead of compartmentalizing or isolating our balance as if our body's not connected to itself. We can choose to allow our weight to be delivered into these weight-bearing portions of our spines, of our bones, so that as these bony structures take all that heavy weight, they're still bones and there's no nerve ending, so they're perfect for holding our weight, while the rest of our muscles can just relax should our body allow its weight to be delivered down to the front of our spine. But our body does not often give itself permission to do such things. Our body does not often naturally, as we get older, our body does not often naturally allow itself to allow its weight to be delivered into the bones, the spine, the weight-bearing portions of the spines, into the sit bones right here. Remember that we do not sit on our legs. What do you mean it might not allow our bones to, what do you mean our body doesn't allow itself to allow its own weight to be delivered into the weight-bearing portion of the spine? What do you mean our body doesn't do something that we tell it to do? Well, don't you get stressed all the time? Don't we hear complaints all the time throughout our current modern day society's zeitgeist, its current topics of the day in modern media and modern news is often the inability to stay focused, the inability to relax, the inability to not have thoughts racing through your head every night, the inability to relax the body. There's an unstillness epidemic, restless leg syndrome, but for an entire body. How often do you hear complaints of, I can never get my mind to shut up, I can never get my mind to be quiet? People saying, I can never sit still, my attention span is so low. Well, if the brain is like that, the mind is like that, mind and body aren't so different, right? So if the mind is like that, how much of that is also a responsibility of like a chicken or the egg kind of relationship with the body, as the body is literally trying to faithfully carry out all instructions that the body is giving it, that the brain is giving it at all times. Your body's faithfully trying to carry out all instructions simultaneously. Some are to sit still. Some of your body is trying to move. For example, you might want to feel like you might feel like you need to do work. You might feel like you need to get up and finish that task that you're supposed to do, but you're sitting here, or you're moving, but you want to stay still. We have these conflicting instructions all the time, not just in our brains, but they reflect in the body. And so no wonder we can't even allow our body to rest onto the weight-bearing portions of the bone structures of the body when our brain reflects the same. Our mind is reflecting the same idea. An unordered mind, an unordered body. Perhaps it is the body's conflict within itself, its inability to relax, is causing the unordered mind. Maybe too much attention is being spared in places where it doesn't need to, because it's trying to have all these compensationary muscle movements in order to feel balanced, although it's not really truly allowing itself because it doesn't know where to place the balance. Who would think that your balance goes into the front of your spine, first of all, considering we call it a back, and that doesn't sound like front, nor does it mean the same, yet our spine, which we constantly call the back, is intended to deliver weight through the front, more closer to the center of the body, instead of the back, the spiny back. But who would think even after that, placing the weight into the front of the spine, who would think that it then divides into these sit bones and that your legs are free to float? We all float down here. I used to think that we sit on our legs. Why would you not think that? They're sitting on the chair. And then we're going to find out that all this lower underneath the pelvic area has to do with the entire breathing diaphragm, and that the legs are supposed to be completely out of the way in terms of not just the bony structures, which of course they naturally are, but our awareness, as our muscles are always gripping and always
contracting and then relaxing, right? We have all these muscles that are contracting on the legs because of course we move in the way that we think we are constructed. So when we're sitting and we're like, my butt's not completely relaxed. Well, it's going to have a severe consequence on the fact that now your legs are not being allowed to just free float. In the same way that even in our hearts, when we have relationships or people that we miss, it's hard to let go emotionally, right? Hard to let go of things. It's like, let it go. It's like a constant theme of like humans of like throughout life, we must get better at letting things go. Turns out one of those things are your own bones. As your muscles are like, legs, you must stay here because I sit on you. But you don't. Let go. Goodbye, legs. Goodbye, legs. So what other kind of subconscious maneuvers is your body doing to hold itself up like some kind of muscular camping tent that is trying to keep itself upright? What other kind of subconscious conflict are we creating by, one, thinking that we put our weight onto the body onto the back of the spine like some kind of like oblong tree trunk or like some kind of like fence as opposed to closer aligning to the truth where we want to put our weight closer to the center of our body, which is towards the front of the spine, like a tree trunk, like a sturdy tree trunk all around us. Our weight is in the center of the body, which happens to be the front of the spine. I mean, the spine doesn't go all the way to the front. Like, the spine isn't in front of the rib cage, but the front of the spine ends up being the center of the body. You feel? So as we listen to the front of our shins, as this Mover Monday is about, as we listen to the front of our shins, how much more agreeable is our body's natural weight deliverance? How much more agreeable is it to our weight-bearing portions of our body? As listening to the front of our shins might draw our awareness and thus our entire body closer to the front of our body, which is closer to the front of the spine, which is closer to the center of the body. Delivering weight into the weight-bearing portion of the spines, the non-nerve ending portions of the body, so that the rest of our body could feel painless as we float. Remember, you do not sit on your legs. We'll be right back after this short break to send us off. My name is Herbie, and this has been Pal Go On. We'll be right back. We have a recommended book reading list. If you feel like you have a hard time understanding yourself at this stage in your life, check out No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert A. Glover. It's an aggressive title, but a very meaningful book when it comes to understanding self, both men and women, masculinity and femininity. So you'll see it first in yourself, then throughout the world, so it brings peace through understanding. Do you suffer from a mental illness that you want to actually do something about? Or do you just want to be able to change your patterns and behaviors in life? Check out that book with the girl with holding her hand up. It's an amazing book. The Body's Map of Consciousness, Volume 1, Movement, by Lansing, Barrett, Gresham, and Julie J. Nichols. Do you have body or neck aches throughout the day or throughout the night? And gone to chiropractors and just been frustrated with not being able to get a permanent fix? Check out the purple book, The Structures and Movement of Breathing, by Barbara Conable, and Anatomy of the Voice by Theodore Dimon for a more detailed look. Compare that book on the left and take charge in getting your relief back. All these books are highly recommended and pretty short and just freaking phenomenal books. Beyond impressive, incredible, ridiculous, awesome, stupendous, prodigious,
from that short break. I hope you have enjoyed today's Mover Monday. It is November 7th, 2022. It is a Mover Monday. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Best Feeling Podcast. My name is Herbie. This is Pagawan, your only no-nonsense podcast. Today on Mover Monday, we have been discussing listening to the front of the shins as we remember to hold our controller properly today in the simulation of ours in which we die every 5 minutes, but that timer is reset with every breath that you take. We invite you to hold your controller properly with us today by pretending that there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out. It's just flickering there, a lit candle. You're not thinking about inhaling, you're not thinking about exhaling. Simply that there's a candle flickering in front of your lips that you're trying to not put out, and trusting that your body will breathe on its own. You simply place your awareness onto aligning it so that it can breathe. Get out of your own way today as we listen to the front of our shins as if they are the speakers of the world, even as you hear my voice, whether they're from your AirPods, whether they are from your speaker, whether they're from your computer, wherever you're hearing me, in your head right now, wherever you are hearing me. Draw your attention to the front of your shins as if that is the true source of the sound. And notice how far forward of the body that might feel for you. As far forward of the body is much more forgiving and much more agreeable with the proper alignment of your body, which is forward of the spine. The front of the spine to bear the weight of your body and not the back, where all the nerves are and all of the spinal nerves that can easily get pinched. But we want to place our weight more closer to the front of the spine so we can deliver our weight there the same way that a fetal position causes our weight to be delivered more to the front of the spine. Is there any wonder why we enjoy sleeping in a curl position or a fetal position when it is drawing all of our weight towards the front of the spine, closer to the design? And how might that feel for you? Whether you are driving in a car right now, reversing, better be careful. Make sure to check both mirrors, all mirrors, and check behind you. Don't just trust the camera all the time. Whether you are outside jogging, taking a walk, enjoying the sunlight, whatever you are doing, wherever you are, whenever thou art. I hope you're feeling the weight of the body on the front of the spine. It feels so good, like all of the time. Hope you're allowing all these words to go in one ear and out the other. And thank you for joining us here on this Mover Monday, November 7th, 2022. Listening to the front of the shins. How might that feel for you? Please let me know. Let's discover together. Let's fellowship this together, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say. Check out our recommended books. Check out Jesse Lee Peterson. Check out Matt Walsh. Of course, no podcast agrees 100% with another podcast. Let no man lead you. And yet, by just learning someone authentically, you end up seeing how many commonalities you might have. I hope to catch you guys tomorrow on True Love Tuesday, where we will be discussing the relationship between the two sexes as we discuss relationships between us and everything in Pagawan. My name is Herbie. This has been Pagawan. Please listen to the front of your shins and pretend there's a candle in front of your lips that you're trying to knock it out. Good love.